Hey everyone! So before we get started, a quick warning. There will be spoilers for Thor: Love and Thunder. You have been warned. Oh my gosh, Thor: Love and Thunder. Talk about a prize worth having. At the end of that movie, they're trying to find eternity. A being able to grant one wish to whoever finds him first.
Right here for your very much wish fulfillment.
That is quite the prize. And I can't help but asking, why is Gorr the only one seeking this? I feel like everyone should be seeking eternity, trying to figure out where he is, trying to find him. The gods talking about it, and they're like, no, he won't find it. He doesn't have the key. Why aren't they trying to find the key? I guarantee a wish would help any of them. I'm sure every single one of them has something that they could pursue. And I can't help but think back over all the movies we've had in the MCU thus far, how many times a wish would have fixed the problem. And in particular, I think about Thanos. Why did he trek around through a whole saga trying to find 6 stones, assemble a glove to house those stones, all to be able to activate them, when he could have just sought out eternity and just wished for half of all life to be gone? Well, today I'm going to discuss just that.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
So I think we have to look at this from the point of view of Thanos. What mentality would he be going through that would lead him in the direction of the stones over a wish from eternity? Now, there's one obvious possibility. There's a chance he just didn't know about eternity. The thing is, I don't buy it. I feel like Thanos has shown through the intricate details he has managed to uncover about the stones and his patience in waiting so long to enact his plan, in keeping track of every single detail along the way to make sure things happen just the way he needs them to. He is someone that clearly is very intelligent. But not just that, he does his research. If there was another way to wipe out half of all life, I think he would have figured out what it was. He's a powerful being, a titan that interacts with these other powerful beings, comes into contact with them all the time. People know his name, and I guarantee he has talked to some people who may have had this idea, this eternity idea. I believe that Thanos would have known about eternity. In some way, across his time trekking through the galaxy, I think he would have heard about eternity. So I don't believe that he just didn't know. So that leads to the second possibility. Maybe he knew about eternity, but thought the stones would be easier? Well, this one's a little more plausible, but maybe just easier for him. You see, there's one of two situations here. Either he had no idea how to find eternity, or he did figure out how to find eternity, but didn't have the key. Now, if he had no idea how to find eternity, then it makes sense that he wouldn't be pursuing it. But it's also possible that he did figure it out. I mean, knowing exactly how these stones work and knowing exactly what type of glove he would need to house them and finding all these details, the research he has dug into to find ways to enact his plan, I think he would have figured out how to find eternity. If anyone can figure it out, I think it would have been him. The thing is, if the key to eternity is the Bifrost, well, up until the point when Thanos is looking for the stones, up until Thor Ragnarok, the Bifrost was only accessible by the Asgardians. And I think we can tell that Thanos seems hesitant to directly oppose the Asgardians. When they're at their full power, led by Odin, I don't believe Thanos stood a chance. I mean, he has trouble at times against just Thor. That's one Asgardian. Imagine the entire force. I don't think he had any shot. And if they're the only ones that house the Bifrost, it makes sense that he would not be in a rush to try and snatch away from them. I think this is what it came down to, him waiting for an opportunity. If he's looking for either the stones or the Bifrost, and the Asgardians hold the Bifrost, I think he'd be keeping a close eye on them, waiting for that sign of weakness, that he could step in and snatch it away. Or step in to make sure nobody else can get it. That brings me to what I think, in the end, is Thanos' actual plan. Everyone talks about Thanos wanted to wipe out half of all of life. But that wasn't it. When he snapped his fingers and half of everyone disappeared, he wasn't done. He had one more task in mind for those stones, and that was to destroy them. The thing is, Thanos' plan was not just to wipe out half of all life. It was to wipe out half of all life permanently. He wanted to make sure that what he did could not be reversed. Now, if he had sought out and found eternity and made the wish that half of all life, at random, would disappear, well, then someone else can come behind him, find all the stones, gather them together, and reverse his wish. The power of the stones have been shown to be able to do things of that magnitude. So, seeking eternity would not be enough for him to enact his entire plan, because in the end, it could prove to be all for nothing. On the flip side, if he just sought the stones and ignored eternity, well, then someone can seek out eternity and reverse the stones. Or, if they can get the stones away from him, they can use the stones themselves to reverse what he had done. I think Thanos wanted to make sure all three possibilities were taken into account. 1, to snap out all life. 2, to make sure the stones could not be used to do it again. And 3, to make sure eternity could not be used to reverse what he had done. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, eternity's still around post-Thanos. Clearly he didn't account for that. I think in his mind, he did. You see, Asgard was the only source of the Bifrost. Well, Thanos didn't start making his move to collect all the stones until Asgard was destroyed. The moment Asgard was annihilated, Thanos made his move and began to collect. I believe at that point, Thanos was under the impression that that's the end of the Bifrost. The power of the Bifrost was coming out of Asgard and was being utilized by Heimdall and by Odin. Those were the two able to use means to summon the Bifrost. And Odin's dead. Asgard has been destroyed. And when Thanos made his move, he killed Heimdall as well. From his point of view, that could be the end of the Bifrost. And if the Bifrost is the key to find eternity, well then eternity would be locked away forever. Now it's true that Thor managed to find a way to access the Bifrost once again. When he built Stormbreaker, he was able to use that to summon the Bifrost. But we know that when they're building Stormbreaker, the ability for it to summon the Bifrost was just a rumor, that some say it has this ability. Well, Thor proves the rumor true, but not to Thanos. You see, when Thor uses the Bifrost to go back down to Earth and join the fight, to fight against Thanos' forces, at the time when he arrives, Thanos is still on Titan. He had not yet gotten to Earth. So at that point, he would not be able to witness Thor accessing the Bifrost. When Thanos makes it to Earth, Thor is already there, and Thor never uses the Bifrost again against Thanos. So from his point of view, he has no evidence that the Bifrost is still around. And so, with snapping half of life out of existence with the stones, with eternity sealed away without a means of getting him out, and in destroying the stones himself, it makes sense that his belief would be that is the way to make sure that half of life stays gone. So what do you think? Do you think this is the reason that Thanos decided to go with stones over eternity? Do you think maybe he just simply didn't know that it had managed to pass him by and he never heard these rumors? Or do you think he was just so obsessed with this initial plan that maybe he just decided that that's the route he's going and he was dead set on it the whole way? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more of our theories. And thanks for watching.